What's up? What's up? It's your boy K Still. I'm here with the fam bam. What's up, man?
Man, this is Black Ray. How y'all doing today?
Hey, and welcome to Melanated Rhythm. And on today's segment, we got a special guest to talk about expectations. So what we gonna do? We gonna go ahead and get this caller, Miss Stephanie, a call.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead and get this female perspective. You know what I'm talking about?
All right.
So while we waiting on her to get online, how you doing today?
Man, I'm hanging in there, man. It's getting cold, but
Black folks in cold weather. You know what I'm talking about?
Come on now.
Hey,
Hello.
yes, man. I speak to Stephanie. Miss Steph Robinson, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. I'm here with my boy Black Ray.
How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to Melanated Rhythm. We got a question for you.
Okay.
You know, we thought we needed some female perspective
Always.
on expectations. So we want to talk about expectations. You got a moment?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's talk about it then. Okay, so we're going to talk about expectations on whatever level you feel like you want to talk about. Let's start with relationships. You in a relationship, Miss Stephanie?
No, I'm single as he comes.
Oh, hooky now. Watch out, fellas. She's single. So question, so some expectations. Right. Like, right. What is some expectations you might have? Let's talk about expectations. Is it from your kids, from your wife? You want to talk about relationships?
We can talk about relationships, man, and in any marriage or just relationship before marriage, man. My expectations when it comes to those things is, for one, honesty.
Okay.
The truth,
right?
Which I mean, I guess is honesty, but also, are you able to take charge when needed?
Okay. What do you think about that, Miss Stephanie?
Is he able to take charge when needed?
Yeah, he's talking about in relationships.
I mean, I feel like you need to let the husband be the husband.
Oh, Sookie. Is that you talking about submission, woman?
But sometimes some women, prior to, they're so used to being independent, it's hard for them to let him take his role. So the expectations I have for dating someone is developing a friendship first.
Let's get this.
The expectation that I have when going into it. And then also, even when becoming married, I feel like it's important to maintain that friendship and don't let a title, take that away. I feel like you should still date.
Absolutely.
So in a way, you should still chase her and vice versa.
Okay.
Always keep that spice no matter what.
Keep it spicy. I like it. I
totally agree.
I think for me, it's okay to have certain expectations because what that is to me, it builds a standard. It doesn't mean that I have the expectations are too much for a person, but I think if you don't go in the relationship with some kind of expectations, like if I'm in a relationship with a woman, I'm expecting her, if I love her, right, and I'm showing her and all these different things, I'm hoping that she can reciprocate that back, right? So I'm gonna expect you to treat me how I treat you. Now, if it doesn't work that way, then I need to revisit that thing with you. Like, hey, let's talk about some things on how we're treating each other. I won't just make it like you're the bad guy. Let's talk about how we treat each other. So I think personally, we all come into the relationship with certain expectations. Now, I got a question for both of you, and either one of y'all can answer. Let's start with Stephanie, since you're the guest. What are some of the hidden expectations you may have had in the relationship? Good or bad?
Some hidden expectations?
Did you have any hidden expectations? Like a hidden expectation, real simple. If y'all was to go out on a date, right? Do you expect the man to pay? That's like a hidden expectation without telling him. Do you expect, because he offered to take you on a date, do you expect him to pay or do you go Dutch? Like, how does it work with? So that's what I mean by expectation. What do you think?
I mean, for me, he doesn't. A lot of women may have that expectation if we go out on a date, the man is always, to pay. But I'm not like that. If we cool, you my partner, we can split it. Or, what I'm saying, if I got it, I'll treat you. It's not a problem. I don't look at it as if, like, oh, you using me or blah, blah, blah. I just feel like if we have that cool friendship, then, sometimes, it's okay for me to pay. We can split it, or if he wants to pay. So it depends on the type of friendship and relationship that I have with this person.
That's what's up.
Okay.
What about you, Black Ray?
You know what, man? My expectations is,
now that you're married, let's talk from a married perspective.
Okay. From a married perspective, man, tell me what's really going on. And it's not necessarily always financial, but it could be anything, man. You may be having an issue with the pastor, somebody in church. You might be having an issue with the neighbor, an old coworker, anything. Let me know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Just so we can have a talk, and there might be some things on my mind or some things that I've been through in my past. I can give you information on how to deal with it, or just to get it off of your chest. So communication for me is definitely a key.
So you expect her to communicate properly?
Definitely.
Now, what if she doesn't necessarily know how? Y'all together now, you married. Mm-hmm. So with you being married, you have this expectation of your wife to come to you with any and everything.
However you feel, come talk to me.
Now, what if that is not her natural way of doing things? Like, for example, she wasn't raised that way. She was probably raised to internalize everything. How do you get your wife to a point, and Stephanie, for you, how do you get your man to a point that they're going to be open to meet that expectation? How do you, with Black Ray?
Well, me personally, man, the only thing you can possibly do in those type of situations is you got to you have to listen to them. They have to listen to you, but also we need to come to some kind of understanding before we even say I do.
Right.
We need to come across some kind of understanding. Like, look, man, we together for the long run. We're not gonna do the divorce thing. Let's be honest with each other and let's hold it down. So I feel like we need to that needs to be talking about before anything.
Across the board,
man.
Absolutely.
Before anything, man. That needs to be talked about. So true enough, we all grew up separately in some kind of way, shape, or form, and that's just anybody on this earth.
Right.
But when you become a unit, and it's just you two guys, let's bring it together.
Absolutely.
So some things we all have to change. There's a lot of things in my past and in my life that the way I end up, especially the way that I grew up, I've had to change. So I expect the same for you. And even if you're short at it, let's at least stop and talk about it and think about it. So that way, further on in life, a lot of issues we can bypass because we came down and we talked about it, and we at least understand where we coming from, and then we can take it further.
So what do you think about that? I agree with you. Absolutely. You got to talk about it. You got to be open and honest. And what about you, Ms. Stephanie?
I agree. Communication is very important. That's why you shouldn't rush into marriage. And during that dating process, if he or her is not a communicator, and say, for example, you are and she's not, when an event happens that it erupts and y'all arguing, you have to let her know, you know what, you did this, that's a trigger for me. You have to nip it in the bud right then and there, so she'll know instantly, okay, he don't like when I do this, and vice versa. If she say the same thing to you, and that way when it is time to get married, all of that's been cleared out. Y'all know what y'all strengths are. Y'all know what y'all weaknesses are.
True. Right.
So I think it's very, very important to communicate while dating before you get married.
True. I think that's excellent way to put it, both of y'all. I think also some of the stuff is just trial and error. Like some of the things that we might so just to air out myself, I've been married before, right? And y'all know me, so y'all know I've been married and I'm divorced now. I was at church one time and I had a friend that really, man, when I say this opened my doors, like mentally, it was a light bulb that came on. I went to a marriage ministry class, right? And there was something that was really, really frustrating me about my ex. Like she was the type that was very closed off and she would hold on to things for a while. So what happened is my boy sensed it because I'm the communicator. I want to talk. I'm like, hey, babe, what's bothering you? She would just hold on to it until say 2 or 3 weeks later sometimes, and then she'll come back. And now we got to revisit those emotions and stuff, right?
And it's even worse.
And it's even because now you done messed up the happy mood because you can't figure it out, right? But my partner said something to me. he says, he pulled me to the side after the class and he said, "Hey, Ken, I understand where you're coming from." He says, "Hey, bro, the numbers don't work." He said, "The numbers don't match up." And I say, "Man, what the heck does that mean?" Right. He say, "How old is your wife?" So my ex-wife was 8 years my senior, right? She didn't look it, but she was 8 years my senior. He say, "You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Go on and give me a cougar one time."